Good morning to all. Okay. Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. So in last class, I think already we started this ATM reference model. Yes or no? Yes. Or whether you have we have started this ATM reference model. Or whether you are listening or not. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. So in ATM reference model, so whether you have completed this diagram, or yes or no? Last Friday, I think we have started this ATM reference model. Okay, so please check. So first, all of you draw this diagram. Okay, this ATM reference model. Then we'll discuss ATM reference model. So basically, it has uh, uh, three primary layers. That is physical layer, ATM layer, and ATM adaptation layer. Okay, and another layer, that is your user defined layer, that is your user defined layer. Okay, so it is basically three primary layers, and which is fixed for your or reference model. Okay, and only it has a different layer, that is your user layer, which is defined based on this based on this uh, user functionality or user application. It is defined. Okay, so first all of you draw the diagram. Okay, it has simply write down different layer, then we'll discuss the different layer. So first write down this. So ATM has its own reference model, different from OSI model and also different from the TCP/IP model. Okay, TCP/IP model. Okay, and it consists of three layers. So write down the second point. It consists of three layers: the physical layer, the ATM layer, and the ATM adaptation layer, plus one your user layer. Okay, so you can check the diagram plus one user layer, sorry, upper layer, that is based on your user. Okay, so layer with a plus whatever users want to put on top of that. Okay, layer with a flexibility for an user defined upper layer. Okay, so this is known as your basically user defined upper layer. Okay, user defined upper layer, user defined upper layer. Okay, so so write down the second point. It consists of three layers: the physical layer, the ATM layer, and ATM adaptation layer, plus whatever user wants to put on top of that, that is known as your user defined upper layer. User defined user defined upper layer. User defined upper layer. Okay, so let us discuss each layer one by one. So number one is your physical layer. If you compare with the diagram, the first one is your physical layer, and this physical layer is again divided into two sub layer. That is, one is your TC and PMD. TC stands for your transmission convergence sublayer, and PMD stands for your physical medium dependent sublayer. Physical medium dependent sublayer. Okay, and this CS ATM adaptation layer. Okay, again it divided into two sublayers. Number one is your convergence sublayer. SAR is your segmentation and reassembly sublayer. Okay, segmentation and reassembly sublayer. Okay, so if we consider this physical layer, so write down this is important. So write down all of you. This physical layer deals with the physical medium. This physical layer, number one, deals with the physical medium, voltages, that is your voltages, beat timing, and various other issues, and various other issues, and various other issues. Okay, so whenever you are deals with your physical medium, means whether it is in the form of your either optical fiber or coaxial cable, or it is your uh, any coaxial cable. Okay, so it is the form of your wire. Okay, so as it is a connection oriented. Okay, so deals with your physical medium and your voltages. Okay, because you are transmitting in the wire. Okay, in the form of your voltages, that is your low voltage for your 0, and high voltage, a high voltage for your 1, where deals with your voltages. Okay, so and whenever you are transmitting in the form of your electrical pulse, okay, it is associated with a timing of each pulse, that is your beat timing, and various other issues. Okay, so you can write down it. Physical layer in your ATM reference model deals with the physical medium, voltages, okay, beat timing, and various other issues. Okay, number two is your no specific rule. Okay, number two is no specific rule for the cells regarding the choose of transmission medium. No specific rule for the cells regarding the choose of transmission medium. Okay, so in your ATM, basically the data, okay, transmitted in the form of your ATM cells, okay, which is consist of your 53 bytes. Okay, so how will transmit this cell? Okay, it is no specific rule. Okay, whether it is your optical fiber or coaxial fiber cable. Okay, so no specific rule for the cells regarding the choose of transmission medium. Okay, so how it will choose, okay, the path, whether it is your coaxial cable or your fiber optic cable. Okay, so no specific rule for the cells regarding the choose of transmission medium. Suppose there are two different medium exist. One is your copper coaxial cable, and another one is your fiber optic cable, suppose. Okay, so uh, cell has to choose any of the path. Okay, but there is no specific rules for the cells regarding the choose of transmission medium, so it can transmit through any path. Okay, number three is ATM cells can be sent on a wire or fiber by themselves. Okay, ATM cells can be sent on a wire or fiber by themselves. Okay, so it is transmitted in the form of your ATM cells, that is in the form of the packets. ATM cell can be sent on a wire or fiber by themselves. Fiber by themselves. Okay, so if you combine the physical layer normally deals with the physical medium, that is voltages, bit timing, and various other issues. And ATM doesn't describe a particular set of rules, but instead says that ATM cells can be sent on a wire or fiber by themselves. Okay, but they can also be packaged inside the payload of other carrier system. Okay, so in other words, ATM has been designed to be independent of the transmission medium. Okay, so it can transmit through any medium. Okay, right? So it is independent of the transmission medium. Okay, so next layer is your, if you compare with this diagram, next layer is your ATM layer. Okay, next one is your ATM layer. So in write down what are the function of this ATM layer. So this ATM layer deals with ATM layer. So write down ATM layer deals with cells and cell transport. Okay, it ATM layer deals with cells. Okay, and cell transport. Okay, that is cells means how the cell will be developed from a particular flow of data. Okay, it deals with your cells and cell transport, how the cells will be transmitted from one host to another host. Okay, it is the role of your ATM layer. Okay, so write down define deals with the cells and cell transport, deals with cells and cell transport. That is the function of your ATM layer. Number two, define the layout of a cell, define the layout of a cell and tells what the header field means. Okay. Number two, define the layout of a cell and tells what the header field means. Okay. Header basically a information regarding a cell. Okay. So from which host it is basically coming. Okay. From which network it is basically coming. Okay. So it deals with a header information to identify a cell, one cell from another cell. Okay. So it is a type of your address. Okay. So this ATM layer defines the layout, write down, define the layout of a cell and tells what the header fields mean. Okay, what the header fields mean. Okay, so this is the second function. Okay, next one is ATM layer deals with establishment and release of a virtual circuit. Deals with establishment and release of a virtual circuit. So as you know in last class, okay, this cell basically transport from one host to another host, okay, through the help of a virtual circuit. Okay, so the virtual circuit, okay, depends from time to time. Okay, suppose one host wants to communicate at a particular instant. Okay, if the time instant is different, okay, it will set maybe there is a chance that it may be set another virtual circuit. Okay, so it ATM layer basically deals with establishment. Okay, how this virtual circuit will be established. Okay, and once the communication is over, okay, so it handle how they will release this virtual circuit. Okay, so it deals with establishment. Write down, deals with establishment and release. Deals with establishment and release of virtual circuits. Okay, virtual circuits. And the one is your next one is your last one is handles congestion control issues. Okay, handles congestion control issues. Okay, suppose uh, at the same time many cells arrive at a particular node. Okay, at a particular transmitted over a particular transmission line. Okay, or medium. Okay, so it handles this congestion. Okay, congestion of handles congestion control issues. Okay, so how it will distribute all these cells, okay, so that there is no congestion in a particular line or virtual circuit. Okay, it handles this congestion control issue. That is the function of your ATM layer. Okay, ATM layer. Okay, so the next layer is your ATM adaptation layer. Okay, so you can check from the diagram, the next layer is your ATM adaptation layer. This is also known as your AAL. So write down ATM adaptation layer, or this is known as your AAL. Okay, ATM adaptation layer or AAL. Okay. So the so if you combine the last layer, that is your ATM layer, the ATM layer deals with the cells and cell transport. Okay, and it defines the uh, layout of a cell, and tells what the header field means. Okay, it also deals with establishment and release of virtual circuit. Okay, control congestion control is also located or handled here. Okay, in your ATM layer. So the next layer is your AAL, that is your ATM adaptation layer. So all of you write down all these points. Okay, so ATM adaptation layer, that is AAL. So uh, AAL or ATM adaptation layer allows user to send packets, okay, larger than a cell, okay, larger than a cell, larger than a cell, okay, larger than a cell, okay, because most applications do not want to work directly with the cell, okay. So, uh, so in this case, depending upon the application, the cell size may be different. Okay, cell size may be different. Okay, so in this case, this is the role of your ATM adaptation layer, who is depending upon the application, frame the cell, okay, and transmit it. And at the receiving end, okay, it also assemble, okay, reassemble all these cells, okay, and from the original signal or original packets, okay, original data. Okay, so write down allows user to send packets larger than a cell, okay, larger than a cell, and the ATM interface segments these packets transmit to lower layer. The ATM interface segments these packets transmit to lower layer and reassemble the segments if any at the other end. Reassemble the segments if any at the other end. Okay, so this is the function of your ATM adaptation layer. Okay, ATM adaptation layer. ATM adaptation layer. So it normally we know the cell ATM cell size is your 53 bytes. Okay, but the function of your ATM adaptation layer, depending upon the application, it frame the cells. Okay, which may be more than or normal size of your cell. Okay, so allow user to send packets larger than a cell. Okay, and the ATM interface segments these packets and transmit to your lower layer and reassemble the segments if any at the other end. Okay, so as the cell size is not fixed, okay, so if it is more than the size of your normal cell, okay, so this ATM adaptation layer reassemble the segments at the other end. Okay, so the last layer is your you can see this is your usual that is your upper layer, okay, which is basically known as your user defined upper layer. Write down user defined upper layer, user defined upper layer. Okay, user defined upper layer. So what are the functions of user defined upper layer? That is a fourth layer. So user planes deals with data transport. Write down user plane deals with data transport, flow control, flow control, error correction, error correction, and other user functions, and other users function, and other user functions. So user plane deals with data transport, flow control, error correction, and other user functions. Okay, and it is all these uh, functions, that is your data transport, flow control, error correction, okay, and other user function. Okay, it is decided by the user. Okay, it is decided by the user. It is decided by the user. Okay, so what type of your flow control, okay, algorithm have to use, okay, what type of your error correction, procedure or algorithm should be used. Okay, so all these, as there are different types of your routing algorithm to control this flow and error correction, so algorithm exist. Okay, it totally depends upon the user. Okay, so what type of your algorithm or method, okay, methods have to be implement. Okay, so it is purely based on your user. Okay, that's why it is known as your user defined upper layer. Okay, there is no specific rule that the user must have to use this type of your algorithm for your flow control or data transport or error correction. Okay, so this control plane is concerned with your connection management. Okay, and the layer and plane management functions related to resource management and interlayer coordination. Okay, so this is the function of your write down. User plane deals with your data transport, flow control, error correction, and others user functions. And control plane is concerned with connection management. Okay, so this is your plane management, control plane. So layer and plane management, this layer and plane management, you can check the diagram. Control plane, user plane, and layer management and plane management. Layer and plane management functions related to resource management and interlayer coordination. Okay, how different layers should be coordinated with each other. Okay, so this is the function of your user defined upper layer. Okay, user defined upper layer. Okay, so these are the different functions associated with the four layers in a ATM reference model. Okay, ATM reference model, that is your physical layer, then ATM layer and ATM adaptation layer and upper layer. Okay, and there different functionality, that is your control plane, user plane, layer management and plane management. Okay, so the again you can check this diagram. So the it each the physical layer divided into two sub layers, that is your TC, transmission convergence layer, and PMD, that is your physical medium dependent sublayer. Okay, and the CSSAR, that is your convergence sublayer and segmentation and reassembly sublayer. Okay, so we'll discuss all these sublayer one by one. So ATM layer and sublayers, ATM layer and sublayers and their functions. Okay, ATM layers and sublayers and their functions. So if you compare all these layers with your OSI layer, how they are related. Okay, so this AL, okay, that is AL related to, write down this AL, simply draw this table. This AL, that is AL related to, write down this AL, that is your ATM adaptation layer, is equivalent to your layer number 3 and 4 of your OSI layer, and ATM layer is equivalent to your 2 and 3 of your OSI layer, and this physical layer of your ATM is equivalent to your 1 and 2 layer of your OSI layer. Okay, and you can check the third column, this AL, that is your ATM adaptation layer divided into two sub layers, that is your CS and SAR. Okay, and this physical layer is divided into two sublayer, that is your TC and PMD. So, and what are their functionalities, we'll discuss here. Okay, so first one, write down this PMD, physical medium dependent sublayer, physical medium dependent. PMD stands for your physical medium dependent sublayer. Okay, so what are the function of all these sublayer? Okay, PMD. So what are the function? The number one, write down. What are the function of your PMD? Make the bits on and off to move through transmission medium, say cable or carrier. Okay, any carrier. Okay, make the bits on and off. On stands for your suppose one, and off stands for your zero. Okay, so make the bits on and off. Okay, to move through transmission medium. Okay, so that is the function of your PMD sublayer. Okay, next, it handles the bit timing. Okay, so if you combine, okay, PMD and TC, it basically your physical layer. Okay, it basically your physical layer. Okay, so what are the functionality of each sub layer? So you write down, make the beats on and off to move through the transmission medium, say cable or carrier. Then number two, handle the beat timing, handles the beat timing. Number three, for different carriers and cables, for different carriers and cables, this layer will be different. Okay, for different carriers and cables, this layer will be different. Okay, suppose it is transmitted through your optical fiber. Okay, so this layer may be different. Okay, this how it will transmit. Okay, it may be different. Okay, suppose it is transmitted through a coaxial cable. Okay, so in this case, this functionality, how to set this beat timing and how to set this beats on and off. Okay, in case of your optical fiber cable, it is transmitted through the help of your light. Okay, so if there is a light, it depends one, and if it is there is no light, it depends your suppose zero. Okay, so depending upon the carrier and cable, okay, the functionality of this layer, that is your PMD sub layer, will be different. Okay, then number two is your TC, that is your transmission convergence sub layer. Okay, TC stands for your transmission convergence sub layer. So TC convert the cells into bit stream, convert the cells into bit stream in transmitting end, in transmitting end, and reverse, and reverse, and reverse. Okay, and the reverse in the receiving end, and the reverse at the receiving end. Okay, so this is the function of your transmission convergence sub layer. Okay, convert the cells into bit stream, convert the cells into bit stream in transmitting end, and the reverse in receiving end, and the reverse in receiving end. Okay, number two, handles all the issues related to telling where the cell begins and end in the bit stream. Handles all the issues related to related to telling where cells begin and end, in the bit stream, and end in the bit stream. Handles all the issues relating to telling where cell begin and end in the bit stream. Okay, so this is the function of your TC, transmission convergence sublayer. Number three, that is your SAR, that is your segmentation and reassembly sublayer. Okay, segmentation and reassembly sublayer. Okay, so this is the sublayer of your ATM adaptation layer. Okay, ATM adaptation layer. So the function of this SAR sublayer, that is break up the packets, write down, break up the packets into cells on the transmission side, break up the packets into cell on the transmission side, and put them back, together, and puts them back together again at the destination. Okay, it break the packets into cells, okay, on the transmission side, and put them back together again at the destination. It is simple. Okay, break up the packets into cells on the transmission side, transmit through the help of your virtual circuits, and again put them all the cells, okay, in a string, okay, or reassemble it, okay, to get original message. So this is the function of your SAR, segmentation and reassembly sublayer. Next is your CS, that is your convergence sublayer. That is also a sublayer of your ATM adaptation layer, that is convergence sublayer. And this convergence sublayer handles different kinds of services, to different applications, handles different kind of services to different applications. For example, file transfer and video on demand have different requirements. concerning error handling, timing. Okay, so it handles different kind of services to different applications. Okay, so these are the basic sublayers associated with your original layers of your ATM reference model. Okay, so next is your Ethernet, right on. So example networks already we discussed. First one is your internet, second was your ATM. Okay, ATM. So third one we'll discuss, that is your Ethernet, and the last one we'll discuss, that is your Wi-Fi. Okay, and once we cover this Ethernet on Wi-Fi, your chapter one will be over. Okay, so next write down Ethernet. So this is the third type of your example networks. Okay, example network. Okay, that is your Ethernet. So if you consider the first point, so both the internet and ATM, internet and ATM were designed. Both the internet and ATM were designed for wide area network. Okay. However, many companies, universities, and other organizations have large number of computers that must be connected. Okay, that must be connected. Okay, so this need gave rise to the local area network. Okay, local area network, and finally, this type of your local area network is known as your Ethernet. Okay, this is a standard. This is known as your Ethernet. Okay, so uh, if we connect all these in an organization, okay, or in any companies, or university, if you want to connect all these computers or peripherals, okay, so local area network basically comes into picture. Okay, and this is the procedure, okay, the technology used to connect all these local area networks, okay, basically known as your Ethernet. Okay, so how this Ethernet basically started? So if you consider, it is a first Ethernet comes into picture in 1976. Okay, in 1976, it was first developed and implemented in Xerox PARC. Okay, so Palo Alto Research Center, that is Xerox PARC, in 1976. Okay, so the first local area network, okay, that is your Ethernet, comes into picture. Okay, so in 1976, okay, or developed and implemented in 1976, and the basic objective of this local area network, okay, and this is known as your Ethernet, okay, used to connect all the internal computers, okay, or any computing peripherals, okay, of your Xerox PARC, okay, and which is known as your first local area network, or this is your Ethernet. Okay, but prior to development of your this Ethernet, okay, so another technology was there. This is known as your Aloha net. Okay, so this was known as your Aloha net. Okay, but the difference is, so in case of your Ethernet, so all the computer peripherals basically connected through a medium. Okay, that is your fiber optic cable or a cable. Okay, or this is known as your ether. Okay, that is known as your ether. But in case of your Aloha net, all the peripherals connected initially when Aloha net proposed in 1970. So all the peripherals are connected by the help of your short range radio waves. Okay, short range radio waves. Okay, short range radio waves. Okay, in with two different frequencies. Okay, so if you compare this Aloha net with your Ethernet, so in Ethernet, although this is a both Ethernet and Aloha net both are a type of your local area network, but in case of your Ethernet, all the peripherals are connected through the help of ether, which is a medium, physical medium. Okay, so, but in case of your Aloha net, so all the peripherals are connected through your short range radio waves. Okay, short range radio waves. Okay, So this is the difference, basic difference between your AlwaNet and Ethernet. Okay, AlwaNet uses short range radio devices to establish a communication, but Ethernet uses Ether, that is a type of your wire. Okay, so to connect all these devices. Okay, so what is the basic principles associated, or what is the functionality associated with AlwaNet? In AlwaNet, you can check the third point. So in AlwaNet, a number of user terminals were connected to a central computer. Connected to a central computer, and the communication between each user, the communication between each user. Okay, so write down the when the user want to contact a computer is transmitted. Sorry, in AlwaNet, a number of user terminals were connected to a central computer. The communication between each user terminal and central computer was taking place in two different radio frequencies. In two different radio frequencies. Okay. So the frequency used by your normal computer. Yes. Hello. So the frequency used by your, suppose you want to communicate your computer with the central computer in an organization. So the frequency used by your computer or normal computer, okay, that is your upstream. That is known as your upstream frequency. Okay, upstream frequency. So the normal computer send a upstream frequency to the central computer, and the central computer reply back through the help of another frequencies, that is known as your downstream. That is your normal, your known as your downstream frequency. Okay, so the it is you this AlwaNet uses two types of your frequencies. One is your upstream frequency, that is to the central computer. Okay, and downstream frequency, that is from the central computer. That is from the central, that is from the central computer. Okay, so when the user wants to contact the computer, okay, in case of your AlwaNet, when the user wanted to contact the computer, it is just transmitted a packet. Okay, transmitted a packet containing the data in the upstream channel. Okay, so if the channel is free, or if no one else was transmitting at that instant, okay, to the central computer, the packet probably got through and was acknowledged on the downstream channel, but and was acknowledged on the downstream channel. So if the central computer at that instant will remain busy, okay, so in that it is not acknowledged. Okay, again the original normal computer send a uh, upstream frequency to the central computer. Okay, and in this process continues. Okay, so this is the process associated with your AlwaNet. Okay, so but the disadvantage of this AlwaNet is this stream work fairly well under condition of low traffic. If the number of computers in an organizations are very low. Okay, so this concept AlwaNet, okay, works good, but the system were fairly well under the condition of your low traffic, but bogged down badly when upstream traffic were heavy because the contention in upstream channel. Okay, so if the number of computers are more, okay, and all the computers want to communicate with the central computer, okay, at that instant, okay, so the traffic may be busy. Okay, so uh, so it creates problem for your communication. Okay, so this is the disadvantage when AlwaNet introduced in 1970. Their basic concept was all the systems are connected to a central computer, and they can access the data. Okay, so but the problem is, if at the same instant, if many more than one computers want to connect with the central computers, okay, it creates your a traffic problem. Okay, so this is the problem associated with your AlwaNet. Okay, so to avoid this problem, so in 1976, so this Ethernet comes into uh, picture. So Ethernet, write down what is your Ethernet. So Ethernet was named. Ethernet was named after the luminiferous ether. Okay, so Ethernet was named after the luminiferous ether. Basically, this is a medium. Okay, so initially it was thought that the electromagnetic waves can propagate it through a ether, or that is a type of your medium. Okay, so this is a type of a medium. Okay, so whenever this communication takes place through the help of any coaxial cable, or this is known as your type of medium, that is your ether. That's why it is known as your Ethernet. Okay, that is why it is known as your Ethernet. So Ethernet was named after the luminous ether through which electromagnetic radiation was once thought to propagate. Okay, initially it was thought that electromagnetic radiation can be propagated through a particular medium. Okay, so it cannot be transmitted through your vacuum. Okay, that's why. So it was named as a your Ethernet. Okay, as it is a particular medium. Okay, that is your thick coaxial cable. Okay, instead of your vacuum. Okay, that's why it is known as your Ethernet. Okay, Ethernet means it is a thick coaxial cable. Okay, thick coaxial cable. So if the communication or the local area network, okay, by the help of your thick coaxial cable, this is normally known as your Ethernet. Okay, so Ethernet was named after the luminous ether through which electromagnetic radiation was once thought to propagate. This network was considered as a successor to ALOANET, with a difference that in Ethernet the transmission medium was not the vacuum but a thick coaxial cable. That is your ether. Okay, so this is the difference from this definition. You can check the difference between your Ethernet and ALOANET. Okay, so in ALOANET, basically the communication takes place through your air or your vacuum, because in the form of your short radio waves. Okay, so that's why if it is replaced by a thick coaxial cable, so this local area network normally known as your Ethernet. Okay, so in next class we will discuss this architecture of this Ethernet and in details. So all of you please appear one quiz test. Okay, so I'm sending one link. Okay, to through your chat box. So all of you please appear this uh, quiz test within 5 minutes, because it consists of 5 questions. Okay, so you please appear this quiz test. So all of you refer this your chat box. Okay, and simply go through this link and appear this quiz test. And once you complete the quiz test, you may leave and join your next class. Okay, can't start. So be quick, because this quiz test automatically closed after 5 minutes. Please check whether this link is working. All of you appear this quiz test, because I'll take the attendance based on this quiz test. So if you will not appear this quiz test, simply you are absent today. And whether this link is working.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. It consists of 5 questions. Okay, so appear the quiz test and join your next class. Hmm? No. Reporter. Another 107.
Sir, can we leave? Hello, hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Those who have completed the quiz, they may leave and join your next class.
Okay, thank you, sir. ମୁଁ ବରା ଖାଇଦେବି ଇପି ମୁଁ ଖାଇନି। ବରା ଆଳୁଚପ ଖାଇଦେବି ମୁଁ। ବରା ଆଳୁଚପ ଏଇଆ ସବୁ ଥିଲା ପରା କାଲିର ମୁଁ ଖାଇଦେବି। ଆଳୁଚପ କୁଆଡ଼େ ହେଲା?